Well, hey everybody, what we've got here today is we're going to start putting the wall on the western facing edge of the sugar shack. So a couple different ways to do it, but what we decided to do was a modified board and batten. So we do have a 1/2 inch plywood, and we made sure it was level on the edge. The building's 16 foot long, so it should be 4 panels. And then we've got some 1x3s that we'll put on for the batten look. So it'll look like a board and batten, but it doesn't need to be a board and batten. I just like the way it looks. So Jacob's here to help. Hey Jacob.
Hey.
And so that's the first panel. We got it level, plumb, whatever you want to say. And we'll just keep going through and paneling it up, and that should help us keep out of the weather a little bit because it's still raining here. So we'll come back next step. Okay, so we have the plywood sheathing up and secured. The next thing we'll do is these are 1x3s, so they're actually 3/4 by 2.5, and we'll put them on and space them out somewhere around 9 inches is what I figured out, and that would give it the look of the board and batten. So because this is all finished wood and kiln dried, it's not going to shrink, but board and batten was originally developed for use with green timber. You would put your wide planks on green, and they were going to shrink as they dried, and then you would put a smaller piece over the gap. So this is the gap between the plywood, and that could shrink, and the batten could shrink, and there would be no air gaps through. So for me, it's the look, but it did come from a practical point. So what we'll do now is we'll get started on the battens, nailing them on, spacing them out, and we'll come back after it's done and show you what it looks like. Okay, so first thing we did was we took the battens and we covered over the gaps in the plywood. That leaves a space of about 45.5 inches or 45 inches, whatever the math ends up being, doesn't matter. So now we'll see what the spacing looks like to make it even. You can do it different widths, but I want to make them all the same width. But just put a couple nails in, make sure these are level, and then we can measure off of these to put the inner battens on. So we'll come back at the next step. So here's the options that we laid out. The one on the left here with only 2 battens in the middle would look like 3 boards for every 4 feet, or the one on the right with 3 battens in the middle would appear to be 4 boards every 4 feet. We both agreed that we like the one on the left, so that's what we'll do going forward. So we'll just make the measurements even, whatever they end up being, and we'll go from there.
We're done nailing in the battens here to the plywood. We put one at the bottom, one at the top, nailers, and the nailers went in somewhere like crossways, somewhere at the top. Got them all secure. Looked pretty even. 13.5, I believe, is how many inches were in between, but looks pretty good. Good for maple. So I think that wraps it all up. So I hope you found this useful.